SB Nation, the Bloody Elbow, has this to say. Floyd Mayweather Jr. says Conor McGregor has power and the will to win. You can read the article. You can also check out their video feed. Basically, Floyd Mayweather, he says that every time Conor McGregor goes out there and competes and wins, he does it standing up. He says he's a hell of a fighter and he's a very, very tough competitor and he has the will to win. Now, a lot of people are saying that this Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight, kind of like what they said about Marcos Maidana versus Floyd Mayweather, that, oh, this is going to be a blowout, Floyd going to blow him out, you know. I like that because a lot of people are going to be shocked at how entertaining the fight is actually going to be between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I'm not saying that Conor McGregor is anywhere in the category of Floyd Mayweather in terms of boxing pedigree, but there's things Conor McGregor can do to make this fight competitive. And he's got a great model in Marcos Maidana, the first fight, to actually rely on. If you listen to Floyd Mayweather, he said Marcos Maidana, he was basically doing MMA, you know, and this is boxing. You remember that? Now Floyd Mayweather's fighting Conor McGregor. He wants to fight him at least, who's an MMA fighter. Conor McGregor has something of a blueprint to resort to if he wants to face Floyd Mayweather. He's going to have to bend those Marcus of Queensberry rules for sure. He's going to have to rough up Floyd. He's also going to be able to get his punches in. He's also going to have to be able to do some circus stuff, okay? So I actually believe that actually Conor McGregor, he has a good chance of actually putting up a good fight against Floyd Mayweather if he bends some of the Marcus of Queensberry rules, if he uses some of his MMA skills in boxing, legally that is, like how he can lock up, clinch. I heard even Stephen A. Smith talking about that on ESPN, actually, when he was discussing with Max Kellerman, that, you know, there's certain things that Conor McGregor can do to make this fight sort of even off for his favor. You can't box the boxer. You're not gonna go in there. Manny Pacquiao tried to do Manny Pacquiao and Floyd shut him down. So you're not gonna win this fight by boxing Floyd. But I can tell you this: if you out hustle him, if you try to outwork him, if you try to rough him up a bit, I think, especially being that he's come from an MMA background, we can do it even more subtly, or certain things he can get away with certain kinds of referees, that McGregor should do that. Also, he can use his elbow blocks, where he can block a punch with his elbow, so damaging your hand. Floyd got bad hands. So I saw that Conor McGregor, he has different kinds of blocks. And in boxing, you can block a punch however you want to block a punch. So I can see a scenario where McGregor hurts Floyd's hands by Floyd punching onto his elbows or something, and as a result of that, he can have some kind of advantage. If Floyd has bad hands, McGregor now can go at him. So I'm saying a 40-year-old Floyd could get roughed up by Conor McGregor, kind of get into sort of a scuffle, a little ugly fight, and this where McGregor could probably end up winning a fight like that. You know, Floyd is very tough, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that McGregor's going to land a shot on Floyd and knock him out. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is he can probably, in a tough, ugly, rough and tumble, you know, mix up your skills, he probably can get a win over Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match that way. Not only that, but he can employ some, like I said, some of the unorthodox techniques not seen in boxing from his really widely varied martial arts skills. He can use some of those techniques in the boxing ring, which are legal to do, but just different kind of looks, to actually get Floyd thrown off. You know what I'm saying? So Floyd will have to adapt to a lot of things. And if McGregor can bring a lot of unique stuff to Floyd in that ring that Floyd has to adapt to, it can make this fight very, very interesting. So I think it's going to be a highly entertaining fight if that fight ever happens. And even if it's a sanctioned bout by a sanctioning body, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be very entertaining. I'm not saying that McGregor got the stamina of a great champion or great lion. He's not going to get that stamina overnight. He's not going to be able to go 12 rounds. I don't even know if it'll be a 12-round fight to start with. Mayweather might be fair to him and say, all right, we make it a 5-rounder. Or we make it a 10-rounder or something. So, again, don't know the specifics of how this fight would go down if it was allowed to happen. But what I do know is that it would be a very entertaining fight, because Conor McGregor is a very entertaining guy. Who knows? He might even kick Floyd and they get DQ'd or something, or the ref might allow it. I mean, anything is possible, especially if they're in it close. He might knee him in the balls or something, accidentally, you could say. You know what I'm saying? It could be a very dangerous fight for Floyd in some respects, in terms of receiving damage and punishment from it, like he did in the Marcos Maidana fight. But I think that there is something there. Now, Floyd's rock solid in terms of his mindset and his ability to get the W. So he might still get the W against Conor McGregor, but a lot of people are overlooking that Conor McGregor, he's an MMA fighter. Okay? So he's going to be able to do some MMA things in there that, okay, there'll be little infractions in the boxing ring, but nonetheless, it doesn't mean he's going to get DQ'd for them. You see what I'm saying? He can bend some of the Marcus Queensberry rule, make it uncomfortable for Floyd in there, and probably get to catch him with a couple hard shots and make a mark. And maybe he doesn't win, or maybe he does win. He knocks out Floyd Mayweather. Who knows? It's very possible. All of this is possible. But you have to have the right game plan, which involves being a little dirty. You have to be dirty against this guy. You're not going to beat Floyd in a straight up boxing match. That's not going to happen. You have to do other things. So I actually think Conor McGregor has a chance to beat Floyd Mayweather, unlike what Max Kellerman is saying. I actually agree with Stephen A. Smith that this fight could be very interesting and highly entertaining, and it could actually spark off a lot of people wondering if you can do more crossover fights, because you remember, like I said before, Holly Holm, she crossed over into MMA and she actually won a world title. Now, in this case, there will be no world titles at stake, but the point is, if you could beat the world's greatest boxer, however you do it, by hook or by crook, you didn't get DQ'd. you managed to make it to the finish line and you beat him. Whether you knocked him out or you didn't stop him or you dropped him or, you got him frustrated so you was able to outpoint him somehow, some way. At the end of the day, if you were able to get a win over that fighter, or make it a hard-fought fight, it'll make everybody think, well, wait a minute, MMA fighters can actually compete. And okay, they don't exactly have to be in the pros. There's other things you can do in there, because there'll be the criticisms. This supposedly greatest boxer of all time, he struggled with an MMA fighter who had no pro career. There's all kinds of talk will happen. But the fun part about it will be this: that at the end of the day, after an event like that, if it's somehow, some way, even though it's not even vaguely competitive, that the guy was, he had a shot here and there, you hurt Floyd, you did different things in there. Once that can happen, the buzz will be there. It'll be there. You know what I mean? And Conor McGregor is this new guy to the whole entire scene. We saw Donald Trump win the presidency of the United States of America. What's to stop Conor McGregor from beating Floyd Mayweather? I mean, these are all little thoughts that go through your head. And then Conor, he's saying, he's very confident and he's selling the fight. So I think this is an interesting. This could be something interesting, actually. I'm going from saying I wouldn't watch something like that to actually I'm kind of curious now, because these are crossover fights. I would love to see on the undercard Roy Jones Jr. versus Anderson Silva, maybe even Nick Diaz, because he wants to do some boxing, going up against some other fighter. That would be fun. I mean, these are all MMA, UFC fighters. Maybe somebody from Bellator against, another boxer. Make it so that even put some matchups so that maybe even there's an equal playing field between the MMA fighter and the boxers. Let's have some crossover. And it cannot do anything bad for UFC, because most people by default think, oh, no MMA fighter should be able to beat a boxer in a boxing match. What happens if one of them do on that card? You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that they need to go into a boxing career, but it just says, look, we're doing crossover. I always wanted to see crossover things like, and I think a couple of other people would like to see those things. When Roy Jones Jr. said that he would like to fight Anderson Silva, who was a big name in MMA, I was very intrigued by it, because, there's just so many different variables we don't really consider when we think about, oh, it's a boxing match, so that means that Roy will beat Anderson Silva. Not necessarily. So on that note, I hope that you guys are interested. Go check out the video also here. It's a very interesting video. You guys have a great one.